Shadow Skuntank gonna overfarm before looking to remove Orangaroo from the field of play with the Crunch. Crunch goes unshielded. We know the opponent has that Clodsire at low health, and whatever's in the back out comes Clodsire, and it's a prime opportunity to start vamping up our attack. Trailblaze comes at 100% chance to vamp up our attack, and these poison jabs going to start tearing through Gator and then stay in school, kids. Learn to count. We catch back onto the low health Primeape, and we're going to be able to fast move, beat down this Gator, and pick up the dub. GG's, and thanks for playing. Welcome back to the channel. No one is more hyped for the Season 20 move update than me, because my double dark poison strategy has got buffed not once, but twice. The super spammy, ever reliable Drapion is now doing even more fast move damage, as Poison Sting has been buffed. Skuntank, a Pokemon I'd personally usually run on Flamethrower, has access to Trailblaze. Trailblaze was always a pretty mid move, however Ninaitc have now set its energy requirement to 45 energy. A 45 energy charge move that can vamp up that oppressive poison jab damage sounds very tempting. This strategy is something I normally use in the Ultra League. I was actually able to hit Legend last season with Ninaitc double dark poison. A lot of my Discord were asking me, what's going to replace Ninaitc? And I said Primeape. Alpha Club. Today's features battler was kind enough to make this massive investment, as you can see, and we're going to see how it fares in the Open Great League. Without any further ado, let's get into the battle. And in game one, Alpha Club picks up a fantastic lead. Primeape into Furthrough, the opponent's say switches into Jolteon, but blink and you might miss it as Jolteon going to find itself straight in and straight out, getting one shot by that Hail Mary close combat. Out comes Tentacruel, and we see the pivot into our say switch of Drapion. Alpha Club today is going my recommended moveset for the Ultra League of Sludge Bomb. I think in the Great League, especially with the buff to the Mud Slappers, you do want Aqua Tail. However, Sludge Bomb, even in the Great League, does have some merit, because without that stab Sludge Bomb, you're going to lose to stuff like Mandibars, which is super common, and even Azumarill. Really, do you want to be a poison type losing to Azu? I think not. It really is a toss-up on what we're seeing. I think early season Aqua Tail is the way to go, as everyone's testing out these Mud Slappers. However, you know people are going to get bored. People will soon resort to what they know. Azumarill will be here, there, and every fucking where. And then perhaps you want to TM over to Sludge Bomb. We've got pretty distracted in battle number one, but you're out to see Primeape land another Hail Mary close combat, and we're going to be off to a very quick 1-0 start. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, we see Primeape into Marshtomp. We're double weak to ground, so this is where we want to see the ground type. However, this opponent's actually opting for Water Gun over the nerfed Mud Shot. Alpha Club YOLOs the close combat, which gets a Protect Shield, and we see the pivot into Drapion. Drapion not messing around, going straight for the Crunch. The opponent tanks the damage, and they have got so much energy. I believe the opponent's now doubled up. So if Alpha Club shields once, he might be forced to shield twice. We shield the first Mud Bomb. Alpha Club could shield this and commit to the Poison Sting farm down, but instead, he's just going to sacrifice Drapion to the Pokegods. Switch timer might be 50 seconds now. However, Alpha Club is going to be switch locked when he sends out his Pokemon. You can see switch timer's already popped up. We send out Primeape. Out comes the Kentucky Fried Chicken, Bird of Death. In theory, this move is resistive at Primeape with a monstrous attack that close combat. Rocks Talonflame down to around a third health, and we see the pivot into Skuntank. The opponent farms up to 100 energy, but I believe that Poison Jab is going to knock him out, and it does. Out comes Raichu. Alpha Club going to fire off the Trailblaze. Trailblaze with 100% chance to vamp up our attack. The opponent shields the first move, and they're going to need to Wild Charge to secure the knockout. The opponent goes for the Brick Break, hoping it gets the job done. It does not. Skuntank reaches the Crunch, and that is going to be all she wrote with Alpha Club, picking up the dub. GG's. I always swear by Skuntank being the most ruthless closer of them all in the Ultra League, and it's looking pretty good in the Great League as well. In the next battle, we see Clodsire in the lead. This is another matchup where having Aqua Tail and Drapion will be massively advantageous. Primeape also has Ice Punch here, which is very nice coverage. You can see even with our monstrous attacks that Ice Punch doesn't do all that much damage, as Clodsire is like this season's Umbreon. This thing has bulk for days. We land 2 Ice Punches in Clodsire, still sitting at around a third health. The opponent YOLOs the Earthquake. We withstand the damage, and we see the Simul Swap of Drapion into Skeledirge. Alpha Club gonna strike first, firing off the Crunch. Crunch forces the Protect Shield. Depending on Alpha Club's IVs, he might just about survive this. And if we do survive, we're only one Poison Sting off the next move, meaning that Incinerate will not register. Incinerate might be very hard hitting, but it takes 4 turns before the damage registers. Hence, Alpha Club was able to get off the next Crunch, and the opponent has now found himself all shields down. Alpha Club sends out Skuntank. Skuntank gonna burn the first Protect Shield, shielding up the first Disarming Voice. Alpha Club then farms up, makes a very nice catch, catching back onto the low health Primeape, saving that Protect Shield. Alpha Club sends back out Skuntank, goes straight for the Crunch. Crunch will be removing Skeledirge from the field of play. Alpha Club's actually a new battler. He's only in his 3rd season of GBL. He's learnt his trade on my Discord, where he's a very proactive member. I did some coaching from last season, and in situations like this, you've really got to be mindful of the opponent trying to make the catch. Alpha Club does exactly that, holds his energy, over farms, fires off the Crunch, removing Clodsire from the field of play. With the over farm, he's going to be able to outpace Gator to the Trailblaze, and beautiful energy management and great composure enables him to emerge victorious. Alpha Club, I'm proud of you, buddy. GG's. Alpha Club actually made a cameo appearance in my upload yesterday where we queued into one another and I tried to make a catch and he wasn't falling for any of my shenanigans. In the next battle again, we see the ground type in the lead. Alpha Club, once again, YOLO in the close combat. Close combat. Boo. Go shielded. Hold up. The opponent gets greedy, over farming, allowing us to reach yet another close combat. Oof, which again goes shielded. Primeape now have a 4 times lower defense. Even if the opponent's running muddy water, it'd probably knock us out. This opponent's actually running Surf, also not the best move. If you're going to use Swampert, I'd highly recommend investing in Elite TM and getting yourself Hydro Cannon. Alpha Club sends out Drapion, shields up the Surf. He then over farms. This time it's him that gets greedy and plays the CMP tie. He does not win. We are able to survive the Surf, but I think we had 2 options there. We could either throw before or just continue to farm. Alpha Club putting it all on Skuntank once again. Out comes the opponent's Primeape. This one is running counter rather than a Legacy Karate Chop. Alpha Club invests the protection. The opponent fires off the Night Slash, and out comes the ever annoying basic bitch tin can Registeel. Hopefully the 50-second switch timeout will save us here, as we're going to need to make a catch. Alpha Club fires off the next Crunch. The opponent is now receiving the energy for the Focus Blast. Does our switch timer pop up? Unfortunately, it does not. And I think this battle is going to end in a heartbreaking loss. We can overfarm with Drapion, but unfortunately we're not going to be able to double up on charge moves. And I think we're in 1 counter range. Crunch will remove Reggie from the field of play. Primeape comes in and 1 counter knocks us out. GG's to that opponent. Heading into the next battle. Well, that's a yikes lead if I ever did see one. Golbat used to be a top meta threat, but the nerf to wing attack has made it, in my opinion, a lot worse. The opponent safe switches into Machamp. This is a situation where having Sludge Bomb would be very advantageous, as it has the ability to flip this matchup, although the opponent invests that Protect Shield, fire off the cross chop, giving us shield advantage. Alpha Club, of course, is going to wait out his time and then send back in Primeape, and we're going to see the battle of the Glassy fighters. The opponent going to fire off the cross chop, which we're going to shield. I don't think we can Karate Chop farm down. Alpha Club looks to over farm before firing off the Ice Punch. Ice Punch will be secure on the knockout. When Golbat does return, you can see our pacing is ridiculous. We're already at the next Ice Punch. Ice Punch forces the final Protect Shield, and we send out Skuntank. Let's go, Skuntank. Let's go, buddy. We do resist whatever the opponent throws, unless on the off chance they're on return. Even if they were on return, they didn't farm up the energy, so we tank the Poison Fang return fire with the Crunch. Crunch gets some low. Skuntank gets the Poison Jab farm down. The opponent's final Pokemon is a Razor Leaf Cherrim. What the hell is this doing on my screen? This is one of the most random teams I've ever seen, but this is the early ranks. Regardless of the strange team comp, we're able to emerge victorious. In the next battle, the tough leads continue. We see the pivot into Drapion, and out comes Clodsire. A matchup where we really wish we had Aqua Tail. Not only is Aqua Tail less energy, taking only 4 poison stings, it also hits for super effective. However, even on Crunch, Drapion is going to do what Drapion always does and put in work. We land 2 Crunches, getting the defense drop. Alpha Club hopefully going to call the Stone Edge bait. The opponent wasn't baiting, and we get 1 shot and vanquish back to our Pokeball. Even with the defense drop, I think we're going to have a tough time with Karate Chop farming down. Alpha Club sends out Primeape. Primeape not going to appreciate this Earthquake. The opponent then gives up switch, sending back at Orangaroo. We fire off the Ice Punch, which forces a Protect Shield, and Skuntank has now got shield advantage. Skuntank is going to resist everything. However, we are going to shield. I'm not sure if I'd shield that, as these confusions are single resisted and not doing too much. We're going to let Alpha Club cook. Alpha Club over farms before firing off the Crunch, removing Orangaroo from the field of play. Back out comes Clodsire, so whatever's in the back might not like our Skunk. I agree with this player, firing off the Trailblaze, so he's got 100% chance of Vampire attack. The opponent sends out Gator with a Protect Shield too high behind, but we've got a shield and a 3rd shield. because Alpha Club makes a very nice catch, catching back onto Primeape. And at this stage, we're not even going to need to throw. The opponent can save that shield for next season. A Skuntank able to poison jab farm down, and we take that game. Skuntank once again showing you all what a ruthless closer it is. In the next battle, we see PV Poke's #1 ranked pick Clodsire. I think people are going to get so fed up of seeing this thing by the end of the season. That's only 7 Karate Chops, so this can only be a Stone Edge or Sludge Bomb. I agree with this no shield. A Sludge Bomb will hurt, but is survivable. The opponent actually fire off the Stone Edge, then send out Clefable. We're going to YOLO the resisted close combat. I think this is a bit of a waste of energy, if I'm being brutally honest, as we've got 2 poison types. I think I personally would have just sent out Skuntank, perhaps went for the 1 shield, poison jab farm down. The opponent actually running Meteor Mash, which is interesting. Alpha Club looks like he's going for the Poison Sting farm down instead and looking to leave at like 100 energy. I don't dislike this player, as we're not really in danger of getting Poison Stung farm down, or at least not before we fire off multiple crunches. The opponent actually send out Mandibars, probably fearful we're going to spam them with 2 Brazilian Aqua Tails, but we haven't even got Aqua Tail, and this is the matchup I was talking about earlier where Sludge Bomb is very advantageous. You can see 3 Sludge Bombs do knock out the opponent, they actually tank the energy, then get the Poison Sting farm down with Clodsire. This is quite tricky, especially as we burnt our energy on Primeape. We send back out Primeape, we're able to fire off the Ice Punch on the CMP type. We really need to force a shield here. Okay, that's step 1. It's now 1 shielded Skuntank versus the world. Come on Skunk, it's time to do some heavy lifting once again. I've just noticed these battles were played as soon as the new season started, and Trailblaze's energy here isn't 45, because if it was, we'd receive it at the same time as the crunch. It's still at 50. Why do Ninaitc always mess up on league rotation or season rotation day? However, got distracted, and I think Skuntank might actually pull this off. The opponent fires off the air relays. Can we jab down before the next one? Oh my days, yes we can. Skuntank, you monster, back out comes Clodsire. We're doubled up on crunches, you know the drill. The first one will be forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield, and the second one is going to be all she wrote. Skuntank, you little beauty. GG's. So now Ninaitc have got their act together. Trailblaze will be at 45, so it's going to take 7, then 6, then 7, then 6. Whereas Alpha Club Skuntank is going to take 8, 7, 7 to the Trailblaze. In the next battle, we see the battle of the buff fighters. Machamp strikes first with the cross chop. Primeape hangs on, returns fire with his own cross chop, forcing a Protect Shield. And we see the pivot into Drapion. I wouldn't be surprised to see us tank this charge and put it all on Big Donny Skuntank to 2-shield its way to victory. Alpha Club actually this time choose the shield Drapion and return fire with the crunch, which is resisted but would pick up the knockout. A Shadow Machamp cannot tank a hit for shit. We can survive this move and we have got the crunch banked. Drapion hangs on, returns fire with the crunch. Crunch will be picking up the knockout, and once again we've got Skuntank with a Protect Shield looking to sweep the back line. We also know Alpha Club's been to school, he knows how to count, so Primeape looking like a pretty good third shield as well. Out comes Gator, which is very nice for Skuntank, as we do resist the Shadow Claws. The opponent gonna fire off the Hydro Cannon, which we are gonna shield, as it is gonna almost one-shot us. The opponent then pivots out into Toxapex. Alpha Club looking to vamp up first. We're going to need multiple moves to knock out, so don't dislike this play. Trailblaze doesn't do all that much damage, but the next crunch should come quite close to knocking out. Alpha Club actually just going for vamp up after vamp up. I guess at this stage the Wincon is trying to poison jab farm down and leave it with a charge move. Toxapex is incredibly fit. Can we get it? Oh boy, no we cannot. Primape's pretty low. Can we Karate Chop farm down and leave with a charge move? That's a nope as well. Toxapex going to outbulk everything, and we're going to take a heartbreaking loss. GG's to that opponent. In the next battle, we see Sableye in the lead. 2 better response in the back, so I imagine we're going to throw 6 and look to catch the foul play onto one of our dark types. Alpha Club actually opts to throw on CMP, which I'm not a huge fan of, as close combat does lower our own defense, meaning this resisted move is now going to do a lot of damage. Ouch. Alpha Club tanks the foul play, pivots into Drapion, baiting out Machamp. Come on, trainer, this is only an Aqua Tail, I promise. Sludge Bomb! No, why does everyone shield the Sludge Bomb? We now find ourselves very far behind in this battle. We tank the cross chop. Drapion looks to fire off the crunch, losing CMP. I'm not sure on the shield either, because the issue here is that we're not going to be able to knock out with this crunch, and we're very much in danger of getting fast move beat down. Can we get the sting down? Uh-oh. Not only does the opponent get the perfect farm down, they even leave with the cross chop to go. Alpha Club goes for the show and go. Okay, Alpha Club, I see you, buddy. We've got a chance here. Skuntank gets a very nice running start. Back out comes Sableye. Are they able to reach the return? Oh man, they just about reached the return. So we're forced to burn the final Protect Shield. Skuntank with a whole heap of energy. Out comes Clefable. We're going straight for the Trailblaze. Looking to vamp up our oppressive poison jab damage. The opponent shields the first, which is a mistake, as the second will be doing more damage. The second Trailblaze doesn't quite knock out. Can Skuntank survive a move? Come on, Skunk. In Skunk, I believe. Although hopes and dreams don't always help you emerge victorious. Moonblast picks up that one-hit KO. The tough leads continue. We see another Clodsire in the lead. However, again, the opponent throws on 7. That's either a Stone Edge or a Sludge Bomb, as Earthquake does take 8 poison stings. Regardless of what they throw, Alpha Club opt into no shield. Why do people keep Stone Edging our fighter? That is such a random play. Out comes the Quagman, which is a huge problem with YOLO. The close combat goes unshielded. There's the big boom, and out comes Drapion. I think I definitely would have went with Skuntank here as well. Both Poison Sting and Poison Jab are both resisted, but Poison Jabs do more damage than Poison Stings. We fire off the Crunch on CMP, forcing a Protect Shield, and Alpha Club just going to sack Drapion. Drapion gets one shot by the Mud Bomb. We've already seen 2 ground types, so surely Skuntank's good against whatever's in the back. We send out Primeape. Primeape gets the Karate Chop farm down. We're going to fire off one further Ice Punch into the ever bulky Clodsire. We then see the pivot, the Simul swap. Who the hell runs triple ground? My god. The only win con is the opponent for some reason not shielding the Trailblaze, or not knowing we've got Trailblaze. The question is, does the opponent respect the damage? Yeah, I agree. It's time to top left. That game just wasn't happening. In the next battle, we see Raichu in the lead. Primape's super quick pacing means we could technically close combat and dip. Looking to catch a charge in one of our back 2 Pokemon, we actually stay in, tank the Trailblaze, which almost knocks us out. And then return via the close combat. Close combat goes shielded with the lowered defense. That Volt Switch does knock us out. It's now all down to the Dark Poisons to clean up. Alpha Club very confidently clicks no shield. Tell me this isn't a boosted wild charge. Holy cow, Alpha Club. You, sir, are risking it for a biscuit, showing huge cojones, calling the opponent would look for the double vamp up, and they did. Alpha Club looks to fire off the Crunch, but loses CMP. I think it's worth a shield just to get rid of this thing. Alpha Club does invest that Protect Shield, finally removing Raichu from the field of play. We see Alpha Club spamming the switch like an absolute lunatic, looking to save Drapion as a potential sack swap. Out comes Typhlosion, they farm to a potential Blast Burn. They fire off the Thunder Punch bait, but no bait will save this Typhlosion's fate as Crunch picks up that one-hit KO. Oh, hello Azumarill. Azumarill not going to appreciate the Poison Jabs or the Trailblaze. Trailblaze won't quite be lethal, but the boosted Poison Jab should be able to farm down afterwards, and we're going to emerge victorious. GG's. Heading into the next battle, we see Primeape into Skarmory. Yeah, I would not recommend this thing. It's been nerfed into oblivion. This thing is so slow to charge moves. It now takes 10 quick moves to the first one, which is 20 turns. That's the equivalent of the old Quagsire reaching like 2.5 Aqua Tail, so my god, this thing's slow. We nuke him with the close combat, we then get nuked in return, and out comes Swampert. Swampert's Skarmory core was good all the way since pre-season to season 19, but both Swampert and Skarmory had huge nerfs. Swampert was a Pokemon I used to call the GOAT, aka the greatest Pokemon of all time. That was because it had the ability to spam Hydro Cannons after 5 quick moves and then alternating between 4 and 5. It's now straight 5s, and that Earthquake takes 9 then 8, which is ridiculously slow for such a Glassy Pokemon. Although with that being said, a Swampert Skarmory core is something Alpha Club isn't going to appreciate, as I think we're in absolute shambles here. Alpha Club gonna fire off the Trailblaze, looking to vamp up his damage, but the opponent can shield this up or not. The opponent actually let it go. Send out Skarmory. Skarmory is going to get Poison Jab farm down as it takes 6 years to charge move, and out comes Magneton. The opponent running ABA Steel, which is a pretty bizarre team all around, but regardless, we are going to take a heartbreaking loss. GG's to that opponent. In the next battle, we see Niantic's Love Child. Wigglytuff, the Pokemon they keep buffing for no reason whatsoever. It's already bloody annoying enough. We see the Safe Switch into Drapion, baiting out Wish Daddy Cash. Not fantastic by any means. Things might not look fantastic, but this is essentially how an ABB team is supposed to work. You safe switch into one of your B-types, look to bait out the counter. Clear it again by bringing in your A-type and hope the second B-type, with its counter out of the way, can sweep the back line. Let's see if that works out for Alpha Club. We send out Primeape, fire off the Ice Punch. Ice Punch doesn't pick up the knockout. This is probably better for us, as we can tank the Scald, look to Karate Chop farm down and leave with a close combat to potentially nuke Wigglytuff. Back out comes Wigglytuff, close combat hits for neutral. If it doesn't get respected, gonna do a lot of damage. That certainly puts them into jab farm down range. The opponent doesn't pivot, giving us a very nice running start, and out comes Altaria. Skuntank gonna need to make 3 moves, and we are rapidly running out of HP. I think this is gonna be a heartbreaking loss. Alpha Club agrees, recognise the game's over, and concedes the match. Holy moly, their tough leads really do continue. We say switch into Drapion, but this time the opponent clearly has no response as they send out Gator. As is a regular variant of Gator, we're not that threatened by the Hydro Cannon. We're easily able to survive one, and we're getting off multiple crunches. The opponent shields the first, which is a mistake. We get the defense drop, meaning this second crunch become very close to knocking out. Drapion fires off the next crunch, forcing both protect shields of the opponent. Drapion putting in a lot of work here today on the safe switch. Hydro Cannon secures the knockout. Alpha Club happy with his 2-0 shield advantage. Alpha Club waits out his clock when sends out Primeape. Jumpluff was a pretty bad matchup when shields are up, but we've got Ice Punch. That's going to hit the double super effective. The opponent gives up switch, giving us the opportunity to see how much this will do. Ice Punch, big damage. Does over half the health, and we see the pivot into Skuntank. This could be an acrobatics. We last second invest to protect shield. Good shield from Alpha Club's acrobatics, a pretty good move. The opponent now sends out a Registeel. Last Registeel did manage to emerge victorious, and we are looking for redemption. Alpha Club fires off the first crunch. Skuntank gonna fire off crunch number 2. This won't quite be lethal, but will leave him in perfect farm down range. In an ideal world, this move will knock us out, which it does. We can then Karate Chop farm down. Close combat Gator. The opponent recognises that's what we're going for. Pivot out into Gator, but it's too little too late. Close combat picks up that one hit KO. We Karate Chop farm down Registeel and take that game. In the next battle, we see green in the lead. Last season, this thing was super annoying. Now Mudshot's been nerfed. I didn't expect to see any. But here one is, and speaking of which, is straight in and straight out close combat. Easily picks up that one hit KO. We then pivot into Drapion. The opponent sends out Gligar, goes straight for an aerial ace, which is a mistake. Trainer at least farm up to the dig. This opponent very much stuck in the past. Speaking of which, Lantern again, another nerfed Pokemon. This opponent running a fully nerfed team. Although in fairness, is Lantern nerfed? It's hard to say, to be honest. Surf costs more energy but does more damage. Lantern's pretty bulky, so perhaps yet again the intended nerf's actually going to benefit this silly electric fish. I think bulky Pokemon like Lantern and even Milotic, something I've been using to core break this very annoying early season meta we've had, are actually appreciative of the harder hitting Surf, as Surf used to be quite underwhelming. We see the pivot into Skuntank, back out comes Gligar. Gligar gonna kind of be forced to shield this. This is the opponent's win con. They do invest that protect shield. We're just gonna match and look to Poison Jab farm down. Poison Jab is resisted, but Gligar rapidly running out of HP. Skuntank able to get the jab farm down. We're gonna go for yet another Trailblaze. I think we could have just went for the fast move beatdown, but regardless, whatever we do, we're going to emerge victorious. We go for that wham, bam, combo play, fire off the close combat, picking up the knockout, and we're going to take that game. And that is going to wrap things up for today's showcase. As I mentioned, after about 10 minutes, we could see that Skuntank, for some strange reason, still had Trailblaze costing 50 energy. So it put in so much work today. However, it's actually even better than it performed in today's video, as now it will cost 45, which was intended in the move update. I think Drapion, as always, is a monster, and I think Primeape is going to be a sleeper pick all season. I'm going to run close combat and Night Slash in the Ultra League, and you're going to see it is going to run rampant. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button if you're new. Consider subscribing if you like your battles featured on my channel. Like Alpha Club did, a link to my battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.